Hey there, rock stars. Eric Andreas, your guitar sage here, and today I'm going to show you the #1 scale that is used for improvisation. Okay, so I did a video recently here on the #1 scale that is used for music theory, and that's the major scale. But then I show you why. So you show you 6 reasons that you may not know why that the major scale is absolutely so powerful to understand music. Okay. So be looking for that here on YouTube. You could probably type in your guitar sage #1 or something like that, or look over to the side and you'll probably see it. But today what I want to do is I want to share with you the #1 scale for improvisation, which is the pentatonic scale. You've heard me talk about it before. I call it the most powerful scale in the world, that sort of thing. But I wanted to, #1, create an updated video for you, and I'm going to show you with some chord progressions here just why it's so powerful. Okay, so it's also known as the box scale. It looks like this. So in this case here, we're going to be playing A minor pentatonic or C major pentatonic. They're really the same exact form. It's just how you play it. And I'm going to show you the difference between that, okay? Because if you know this one form, literally one form, and it's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes. Okay, now you can repeat it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and extend it further up the neck and do it in all different positions. But what I always say to my students is just work on one position, and in fact, if you're working on one position, work on a couple strings at a time, maybe 3 at the most, because you really want to get used to phrasing using just a few words, if you will, instead of the whole neck. Everybody thinks, oh, knowing more is going to help. Nope, that's like not being able to juggle with 2 balls and thinking that it's going to be cooler to be juggling with 3. It's not cooler if you can't juggle with 2. It's not going to happen. Think small. This whole, we're living in a society now where everybody tells you the very opposite. You think big, go home. Go big or go home and all this. That's a bunch of ego. It's a bunch of crap, and it doesn't do the job. Okay? So you've got to be able to break things down. You got to be able to have your mind understand this stuff. If it doesn't, you're not going to play it. Okay? So, all right, so I'm going to show you this first. So the scale is like this. You're going to be playing, I'm at the 5th position here, which means my first finger's at the 5th fret. And I'm going to be playing all of these. And then it's just a matter of, am I playing my pinky or my 3rd finger? So it's going to go, frets-wise, it's going to go from the 6th string here. It's going to go 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8. Just write that down. Or get the free ebook at YourGuitarSage.com. It's also in my courses, the free course, the first 30 lessons that I teach all my students. That link's below. It's free. It's in the Unstoppable Guitar System. I put it at a lot of places. It's probably in my blog at YourGuitarSage.com. Just do a little searching on the website there for pentatonic. Okay, so first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this. And I'm going to play this first in the key of C. So I'm going to have a C major chord progression playing. I'm going to play over the top of it. And then I'm going to play an A minor chord progression. And I'm going to play the same exact scale, but I'm going to play it a little differently, and I'll explain that in just one moment here. Okay, so first off, I'm going to use that scale, nothing differently other than that. I'm going to hit my looper here. Okay, just basics there. We're not trying to, outdo Hendrix or anything like that. Not that I would be doing that, but the whole point here is to show you that really, now I did extend the scale, but really we're talking about the same exact notes. Just like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi. We could go up to the stratosphere. Doesn't matter, it's the same 7 notes. So something to keep in mind when you see somebody soloing and they look like they're playing a million notes. They're really only playing about 7 notes, but they're playing them over and over again in all different ways, okay? So don't get confused there. So we have a C major chord progression. I'm playing this scale over the top of it. Well, if I can play an A minor chord progression, I can play the same exact notes, and we're going to get a different sound here, okay? So. Okay, so you get the idea there. I'm using the same exact notes. Again, I extended it a little bit. Doesn't really matter. I could have not extended it. I just tend to do that because I like the notes up in here. But I could have not done that just for the sake of this video. But really, we're talking the same set of notes. Now, why is this such a powerful scale? Because you saw right there, I did something that was kind of bluesy. Then I did something in a major key. This works for jazz. It works for rock. It works for blues. It works for country. How do I know this? Because I've used it overall, and I see other guitar players using it all the time. You just can't get away from it, to be quite honest with you. And you can move it in all different keys. So for instance, if we're in the key of A minor, this is our position. If we're in the key of C major, this is our position. So both, for both those keys. For every major key, there's an equivalent minor, and for every minor key, there's an equivalent major. They share the same sets of notes. That's called relative major and minor. Talk about this in all my courses and in my books and all the rest. So if you want to know more about that, you can dig in there, okay? So the only difference is that we're in a minor key. We emphasize some of those, in the case of A minor, we're going to emphasize the A more because that's our tonal center. It's what we're talking about. If we're playing in the key of C major, then we're going to emphasize the C more often than not because that's what we're talking about. And I always compare this when people get confused about this. I compare it to two people talking about war, okay? They're both talking about guns and lives and freedom, okay? And money and all these issues that people talk about on one side or the other of the war issue, okay? And so this guy's pro-war, this guy's anti-war. This guy's like, we need freedom. You got to do that. We've got to fight. Da 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 da. People are going to die. And this guy's saying no one needs to die. People are going to die if you send soldiers into the field. Yada yada yada. Same thing. Okay, we're talking about the same things, but we're talking about them from different standpoints. So if you get that concept, then this won't be too far off of that. It's just what notes are you emphasizing more. Okay. So if I wanted to do this in the key of G, I would just slide it down. So here was my A flat, G, and I would just play that in G. If I was playing G minor, then that's the way I would do it. Or it would be A sharp major, okay? Now, if you want to know how to find that relative major or minor all the time, if your A is your relative minor or minor, if you wanted to find the relative major, just go up 3 frets. 1, 2, 3. And that is your relative major. 100% of the time, in every single language, on every single instrument. Okay? 3 half steps up. If you're in C major and you wanted to go to the relative minor, just go down 3 frets. And that is your relative minor. That's why A and C are relative. Or in the case of G major, go down 3 half steps to E. Or if you're in the key of E minor, 3 half steps up to the key of G. Easy enough, my friends, right? So, what should this video have done for you? It should kick your butt into saying, I'm going to learn that pentatonic scale and I'm going to learn how to use it. Literally, I could pull up any song on Spotify right now or just about any place. And if I have that pentatonic scale under my fingers, which I do because I've played it a billion times, then I can noodle over the top. I can come up with parts. I can come up with licks. I can, a lot of times, mimic what the singer's doing just right off the cuff, okay, if I know the melody. So, super valuable tool here, especially for improvisation. Learn this. Start noodling with it with some tunes. If you need help with this, go to the unstoppableguitarsystem.com. That link is below. You can get in there for $1. I've got all sorts of jam tracks that you can check out, even call and response where I play something, then you play something, and a billion other lessons there that can help you. All right, my friends? Please let me know how I can help. I'm on Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff, and I answer my comments here, so please let me know how I can help. Anybody can play guitar if you have the right resources and you do the practice. All right? Spay and neuter, be kind to one another. Don't trust the man. See ya.